Had a few people.
I'm going to record this. We're supposed to have around 12 people here, and I'm going to start here and I'm going to give it one more minute. But thanks for being here. Mandy, any baby yet?
Tomorrow morning.
Exciting.
I know. Well,
Mandy oversees Texas, so
I miss him.
Yep. And you're going to be a grandma for the second time, right? Tomorrow?
Yes, a second little girl. Oh my gosh.
So exciting.
Well, they're inducing her in the morning, so I should have a baby tomorrow. Probably not in the morning, but tomorrow.
So fun.
I know.
Well, I'm going to start sharing my screen and start kind of going through the PowerPoint. I know we're going to have more people joining us, and I just like to be a good steward of your time. I am recording this so I can share the full recording with people after if they join late, and we will be following up with a copy of this presentation, the recording, as well as some other samplers and things to help you, present this to other people at your school as needed. So anyway, I'm Katie Dorn. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Empower You. I am a school counselor, licensed school counselor. I've also been a counselor educator at the grad school level. I'm also a marriage and family therapist, and have had a private practice really focused on children and adolescent mental health. And I'm the mother of 7 grown children and a grandma to 2. So I have probably, I think, this is something I wish for not only as a school counselor, but also as a mom, because it's my heart's work. We have been in this business since 2015. There's 2 other co-founders with complementary expertise in mental health as clinicians. And we really came together and spent 3 years trying to find a better way to support young people's emotional well-being and mental health. We integrated evidence-based strategies with neuroscience and CBT with a strengths-based wellness model. And we launched in Minnesota in K-12 schools in 2018. And because of our outstanding data, we have grown nationally, and now we're serving districts all across the country. And it's so fun to see you from different places being here on the line with us today, learning about our program. There's an urgent need to build social emotional learning and resilience. Students are struggling with the collective trauma of the past year, and just in general, this is something I started developing over 15 years ago. It was an issue then. It's just been exacerbated, and districts are looking for solutions that work, but they must be easy to implement without a heavy lift on staff or the need for additional hires. And that's something we've been really focused on. It's our belief as an organization that social emotional learning can't just be taught. It needs to be learned and applied to a student in a really integrated way if it's going to move them to a place of competency. We teach students about Flip Your Lid, which is Dan Siegel's work, and probably many of you have heard of this, but it really teaches them that their upstairs brain at the elementary level is here, and this is where we do our thinking and learning. But our downstairs brain is where our emotions live. And when we have a big reaction to something, our emotions take over, and our thinking brain checks out, and we need to know how to calm down and react so we can get our thinking brain down to help us. And in order for that to really work in real time, it needs to be not just a concept they learn, but it needs to be practiced and applied and integrated to their life in small daily ways, so that when they get into a stressful situation, that they can access it and remember it. I have a video sample from our curriculum that I was going to show here that talks about ants, automatic negative thoughts, and flipping your lid. But the last time I tried to show the video, it kicked me off of my new Zoom. So we will follow up with this presentation and you can watch it on your own. But our curriculum is really, oops. Oh, I'm afraid it's going to kick me off. Let's see. It's going to keep playing it. Let's see. Sorry. At the end of each lesson, so there's a classroom lesson, we also have an individualized workbook for K through 12 and a journal for, K through 2 and a journal for 3 through 5, where students take what they learn in a classroom lesson and apply it to themselves. Again, it's that integration piece where they're taking something up here in their head and they're integrating it to their heart, so they can really make that connection to their personal life, to their goals, to their challenges in a way that can be measured with data, and we're a data-driven solution to show outcomes of growth and impact. Our goal at the elementary level is to create self-directed learners that can thrive in the face of adversity. You know, we know that these students have difficult circumstances that are often unfair and no fault of their own. And the real goal of this program is to say, well, despite that, you can learn that you have the power to take charge of your thoughts and emotions, even in the face of difficult circumstances. And that can help you take the next small step forward, and the next small step forward, and the next small step forward. Our program is cohesive and comprehensive and really proven to do just that. We teach students how to do that, how to move forward in the face of adversity and to become, in the end of the day, it's all about learning, right? And when they're more confident, when they're more self-directed, they can engage in school and be better learners. And that's really what it's all about. We teach students about the think, feel, do cycle, that we all can have the same experience. And, you know, our brains, we have an automatic thought and that triggers an emotion and that informs our next action. A lot of programs out there, social emotional programs, really focus on emotions and thoughts. And what makes us a little different is we let students know that when they're feeling triggered, a lot of times for these youngins, it's hard for them to start with a thought or an emotion, but they can start with an action. So we teach them strategies and small steps they can take to disrupt negative cycles and to take back control by teaching them calming tools in every lesson. Calming tools that are actions that they take to calm down, to bring their prefrontal cortex down so they can then focus on changing their thought and controlling their emotions. And I think that's really makes us different and unique. This slide is an overview of our core concepts that are aligned with most states' CEL standards, with CASEL standards, and with National Health and Wellness standards. And our follow-up email will send you the scope and sequence that shows our crosswalk to all of those outcomes. But these things look familiar, I'm sure, if you've looked at curriculums before. But self-identity and self-awareness is first. And again, that's where we teach about this ability of making personal change by taking control of your thoughts and emotion and really grounding them in their team and their strengths that they already have to help them do that. The second is really about that do cycle. How can you change your habits and find motivation when you feel stuck? And sometimes it's a small thing. We teach them small steps, small things that can have a big payoff and really change the trajectory of that moment or your day. The inner coach really is that idea of taking charge of their thoughts, that their thoughts, you know, can be wired towards negative, that you can have automatic negative thoughts like I can't do this, I'm not good at school, and that they can, with steps, use a process that we call BACK. It's a 4-step process where they learn to reframe those persistent negative worries or thought that's getting in the way of their schoolwork or being the person they want to be. And they can develop a strong inner coach to help them replace those things with like, well, I can try again, or I can ask for help. Can do statements that aren't like positive, like I got this, but they're grounded in reality that are actually helpful for them to move forward. We teach them about emotional regulation, which is just taking charge of their emotions, to notice those signs of emotions as signals of what that's telling them, where it's showing up in their body, so that they can pause and check in and do one of those strategies early, which they teach them throughout the course. We also teach them ways that they can process difficult emotions through that same 4-step back, but this time with processing emotions. Again, really tangible tools that are accessible, differentiated by grade level, really takeaways that they practice over and over and apply to their own challenges and thoughts and worries and emotions, so that they're practicing and learning this as they go so they can master them. The 5th concept is the community. At the elementary level, we call it their team. It's really about who's on their side, who can help them at school, at home, and in their peer group, and how meaningful connections, empathy, perspective taking, and most importantly, asking for and receiving help can help them be the person they want to be and the learner they want to be. For some of you, I don't know if you're using a universal screener or if you're using a dashboard like EduClimber. We can work with any system you have. We do have a relationship with FastBridge and Sabres and MySabres, which is a great universal screener to help you identify students who may need more than just Tier 1 support. But it's also a great tool as an agnostic data point to measure impact and growth. If you're interested in hearing more about that, if you're already working with a screener, please let us know. We love data and we love to measure outcomes, not only internally, but with outside sources. We do provide data pre to post on each individual student. We have students set goals at the beginning of the course in one domain area. And throughout their learning, they have to use their journal or their workbook to apply what they've learned to their unique situations. And we provide you with their growth at the end. Most students start about thinking, making change, about change. And again, they don't know how. And at the end, they take an assessment. We're able to show how far they went up in their goal that they set. Are they actively working on it? Do they have the skills to move forward? We provide you with that pre to post goal. The real goal, we have both tier 1 and tier 2 at elementary. The goal for the tier 2 intervention is to return students to tier 1 without the need for additional hires. At tier 1 is to keep them at tier 1 without the need for additional and more costly interventions. 93% of students, we also have some confidence and well-being indicators pre to post. 93% of students make growth in both. And 98.5% of students say that they like the program and would recommend it to a friend, as well as teachers. I think at the elementary level, because our tier 1 is teacher-led, it's really important to know their perspective, especially compared to programs like Second Step. At tier 2, we work really well with Second Step. It's a great program, but it's PowerPoints and then a script, and it can be a little hard for a classroom teacher to prepare for and feel confident. Teachers like this because it's really powered online. I'll get into this in a minute, but it's a consistent delivery. So when you're looking at universal supports and equity and access for all learners, the way we're delivering our program provides a more consistent experience. And it gives classroom teachers, what we've heard back is, I feel like I have to be an actress with Second Step. You made it so easy for me to be confident. And when you want your teachers to feel confident in delivering this so that they can have a better learning experience for their students. We also cross-pollinate our results against grades and attendance, because that's really what it's about. We want to give skills to students that they can better manage and be self-directed so that they do better in school and that they attend school. A lot of schools are able to fund our program with title dollars, both 1 and 4, with truancy dollars, with ESSER funds and CARES Act dollars. So there's a lot of way to pay for this program because of the outcomes we have. The buckets suicide prevention, violence prevention too. We are a K through 12 solution. We started elementary. We have a middle school program and a high school program. Today, we're talking specifically about elementary. In elementary, there's really 2 options for you. There's a tier 1 classroom teacher deliver curriculum that I'm going to talk about. And then there's a tier 2 online daily support. That's a 6-week intervention for students that need more, that they're at that higher risk factor for social emotional behaviors, and they need some more condensed one-on-one intervention so that they can go back to tier 1 with success. I'm going to talk first about tier 1, which is our cell programming delivered by classroom teachers without prep. When I say without prep, I would be remiss to say that we don't provide training. How the program works with your staff is we can fit into a staff meeting, an existing team meeting, and do a quick Zoom call for about 15 to 20 minutes to give an overview of the program. Then teachers, before they start with their first lesson, there's a 15-minute online module that they have to complete. And from that point, it truly is plug and play. Classroom lessons are delivered. There's 12 lessons delivered every 3 weeks, depending on your calendar, with video starring Charge. Charge is our character who, again, represents their internal locus of control, working through different emotions and real-time scripted whole class activities. Like I said, it's scripted, so it's projected on a screen. We use videos, we use digital storybooks, we use some scripted activities that make it really easy for the classroom teacher to just turn it on and walk through it without having to do prep. And that happens, like I said, for the whole entire group. Takes about 15 minutes for the classroom lesson. Again, learning it up here is one thing, but in order for it to be integrated into the student's life so they can access it, they need to do that personal application. We have booklets that are provided as part of it for K-5 that use scenarios to prompt reflection and writing. They're differentiated by grades. We can give you samples of those workbooks. Obviously it's much different at K and 2 level, where it's more matching and coloring and reflection. And at 4th and 5th grade, it's a lot more journal prompting and writing. But again, it takes that concept that was taught in the classroom level, and it takes it to that individual lesson. The individual reflection lesson. So that takes about another 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So all in all, the whole enchilada of the classroom group lesson and the individual application can be anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. But we know that just stand and deliver and classroom curriculum isn't enough. It needs to be practiced like a muscle. In order for this to be something that students can engage and recall, it needs to be practiced. So we provide daily 1 to 2 minute videos or audio skill building exercise that reinforce these calming tools that can be used in morning meetings. They change every week, and we ask teachers to do it every day in morning meeting, but most are doing it at least 3 times. Again, it's reinforcing that learning they had in the group lesson, practicing like you would a muscle, building that exercise and that calming tool so they can recall it. We also provide them with weekly journal prompts. So we know that it's best practice K-5 for students to have journal time. So they'll have additional journal prompts that they can use as often as they want, from daily to once a week, that again reinforce the learning. We provide each classroom with posters to reinforce the lessons for growth. We have one of charge, we have one of all the tools they learn, we have one with this back strategy. So in between these classroom lessons and the daily skill building exercises, they're able to refer to these posters to reinforce these lessons. And each classroom also gets a charged stuffed toy for classroom use. And it's a great thing when students feel like they need to take charge of their thoughts and emotions, they can go grab the stuffy. And it's just a kind of a tangible object lesson to help them remember to take it from here to here. We also have targeted tier 2 support. It's supported turnkey 6-week elementary, oh, sorry for the typo, intervention. Districts purchase intervention seats to use as a tool in their student supports for daily therapeutic support. So if you're using a Sabres or a My Sabres or another way to, or just you have behaviors, or you know as a school counselor or as the school psych or as the principal that these students need more support in this classroom, it's meant to fall into target time. So just like a student would go to a computer station to do Lexia learning or Freckle for math, they would go to Empower You to work on their social emotional learning. It's about a 20-minute all online lesson. This is only for grades 3 through 5, or second graders if they can read at a second grade level. But it provides this daily support as well. So they complete a lesson and they're also getting daily online support by our therapists on our team who are giving, helping them make those connections. So after each lesson, their coach comes on and provides that feedback and that encouragement and support. It's 6 weeks, 2 days a week, and we can measure that progress and provide it with you so you have the confidence that that student after 6 weeks has the skills they need to go back to tier 1. We make it really easy at the tier 2 level for you to see how students are progressing in the course and the progress they're making. There's a student dashboard. This green button here allows you to easily, if you buy a cohort of seats, for some of you who are school counselors, let's say you say, yep, we need more tier 2 supports at our elementary level. I'm going to start with 20 seats. You click that button and you just fill out a short referral form and the start date that you want the student to start. On that day, the student and the referring staff is sent directions for them to log on. And from that point, our coaches really do the work of engaging with the student and helping them progress through the content. But we loop you in each week to show you not just their progress, but to put comments here so you can see what the student's learning and respond back. We also have a educator resilience and self-care course, which is really focused on teaching all of your helpers and educators in the building all of these skills to learn to use with all students. We have both a 20-hour self-paced version and a 4-hour half-day self-paced version. I'd say this. There's what makes our program different is it's not just supporting students, but we know that students do better when self-care and mental health coping is strong with their educator. Educator well-being is highly correlated to student well-being. So there is a lens in each lesson that says, how can you use this concept with yourself? But more importantly, how can you use this concept with students, but how can you use it with yourself? So that is one other thing that we offer. I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now and just open it up to any questions from those of you who have them. I'll say that at the end of this call, we'll send you a recording. We'll send you a PowerPoint with an overview so you can watch some of the videos. We have a course sampler and a scope and sequence we can send you. And we have starter kits. We know you guys are incredibly busy and that you have a lot on your plate. So we've made it really easy for you to, it's not too late. We know the needs are great to find either tier 1 or tier 2 solution and start implementing it right away yet this school year. I'm going to open it up to see if there's any questions from anyone right now or anything from anyone who's on my team, something that you want to reinforce a concept or something that I missed.
I joined a little late, so I don't know if you missed anything. Sorry.
I will say the course sampler is wonderful. I started going through it this morning. It is so awesome.
Yeah, so we'll follow up with that. We'll follow up with the workbook. We'll follow up with all kinds of things to get you what you need. Your salesperson will be in touch with you so that you can, talk with them individually about how this may fit into your school. And we'll also provide you with an opportunity to get some CEUs for this time spent if you need it or want it. And if there's no other questions, I think that's all I have for right now. Thank you so much for being here. We look forward to talking to you further and digging in. Joel, you're gonna add something? All right. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good rest of your day.